Big hand for Stefania.
That right there, that thing I just did with the microphone, that was for someone over there, Katie Ellen Humphreys. Okay, and this too. Okay, here we go. Hi, I'm Stefania, and I'm the worst at dating. Like, the absolute worst. And I recently figured out why I'm the worst at dating. And the reason is because I met my first boyfriend online. But like, online way back in the day. Like, back when we were using internet relay chat. For those of you who don't know what that means, that was like before ICQ, before MSN, definitely before online dating. So like, you're talking about a time where online dating was actually dangerous. Because, so friends of mine today, like, they're always like, Stefania, like, oh my God, that's like so brave of you to online date. And I'm like, why is that brave? Online dating today, you get every single piece of information about the person you're gonna go on a date with before you meet them. So the biggest issue is that when you show up to the date, you're going to be like, oh, you have a pit bull as well as a little labradoodle. Oh, I don't like labradoodles. Well, who cares? So back in the day, you would be talking to somebody, like one of 17 people that were online at the time, and you would like attempt to meet with them because you had fallen in love with them over the course of like a number of months. And they would live in Oklahoma on a farm, and you could die. You could actually die. Today you go on an online date and it goes really badly, and then the guy goes to the bathroom and comes back, and he's like swiped with someone in the bathroom and says, so I'm gonna end this date. And then all of a sudden you see him at the bar with another girl because she happened to be there and they figured it out on the Tinder. Like, that's the kind of shit that happens in online dating of today. But so, part of the reason that I'm so bad on dates is because I do this thing. I cry on dates. And so I figured out this thing, like, I was on this date with this like really dreamy guy that I was like super into, like the kind of guy that just like makes you like melty and stuff. And I asked him a question, like, we'd had a really great date, and then this was our second date, and so I was like way too excited about the second date, and I asked him a question I shouldn't have asked him. Like, I was something like, oh, so are you seeing other people? And then instantly was like, oh no, I really shouldn't have asked that question. Oh no. And you're like watching yourself in your mind, like you're seeing that you're like, oh no, he's like, we just like met, like, why are you already talking about that kind of thing? And I was like, I don't know, can I get another martini? And so this is the kind of thing that I've done too many times on a date, to the point where a friend of mine and I came up with a term for pulling a Stefania. And I'm Stefania, okay? And I cry on dates. So pulling a Stefania is crying on dates. And so recently, like, the only thing worse than like crying on a date is crying on like a really, well, how do you put this? Like, a shitty scenario for a date. So I don't know who in the world thought that it was a good idea to go on a picnic for a date. If you're not romantically involved with somebody yet, you shouldn't go on a romantic date with them. Because on a picnic, like, think about it. What kind of stimulus is around you? So you're on the seawall, and it's really beautiful because it's Vancouver, and everybody's always going on about, oh my God, look at the sunset, oh my God, look at the birds, oh my God. And then you see like dogs and families, and if you're really into this guy, you're sitting there and you're like, oh my God, what if we had a dog together? And what if we were like what if we had kids running around like that? And you're like thinking in your head, because that first date went really well, you're thinking in your head that like, oh, well, and you've got this look in your eyes, so you can tell that you're like thinking about something. So it's like, what are you thinking about? And you're like, nothing. Because you really shouldn't tell me that. and he pushes, right? He's like, well, no, like, what are you thinking? I'm like, nothing. I'm thinking, like, how's your wine? And then he says one more time, of course, because he's just got to push it. He's like, well, what are you thinking? And you're like, I was thinking that I'm really into this and I'd like to delete my Tinder profile because my Tinder account takes up a lot of space on my phone. And I actually would really like to bring you to a wedding in 2 weeks. So what are you doing? And we might have to learn like an Indian dance for the wedding. Would you be okay with that? And you've said it and you know that you shouldn't have said it. And you do that thing and you're pulling Stefania. Just like, oh my god, how's this happening again? Oh my god. And so you call your friend the next day and you're like losing your shit. And you're like, Al, oh my god. So I went on a date last night and oh my god, Al, I pulled a Stefania. And he's like, whoa, maybe it's not as bad as you think it is. Just give it a while. Just like see what happens, you know? And like this is the kind of thing where like I was used to getting like a hey beautiful from this guy, but like every fucking day for like a month straight. And then all of a sudden after this happened, there were no more good morning beautifuls. There weren't for like a long time. Like long enough for me to delete the guy from my phone, delete all the messages we had, all the communication we had, and then, you know, move on from it. And then this one afternoon, I got a message, hey, beautiful, how are you today? And like, I just like, oh my god, the amount of elation that I felt when this happened. But also, like I fucking turned into a velociraptor. Because I was like, fuck you! Are you kidding me? But I guess turning into a velociraptor is still better than crying on dates. So I'm getting better. Thanks, guys.
Keep it going for the lovely and talented